Mary Tyler Moore once said, quote, "I'm not an actress who can create a character. I play me." Well, I'd watch her any day. From her start on the Dick Van Dyke Show to a rise to fame and lasting effects on the entertainment world. Moore was a force to be reckoned with. But for all those years we watched Mary Tyler Moore apparently play herself, there was a lot we didn't know. Did you know her legs were famous before she was? Or the heartbreak that she suffered from private tragedies? I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, and let's learn a little more about a true Hollywood star. If you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. A leg up on the competition. Before she became famous on the Dick Van Dyke Show, Moore's career began as Happy Hot Point, a tiny elf dancing on Hot Point appliances for ads during the 1950s series Ozzie and Harriet. Her narrative debut came in 1959, when she played the mysterious and glamorous secretary for 6 episodes in the series Richard Diamond, Private Detective. But if you don't remember her face from the show, that's because they cleverly shot only her legs for 1 episode, and then cut out her face for the others to keep the mystery going.
Well, thank you, Mr. Diamond. That's just about the nicest thing anyone said to me all day.
Another job was the total opposite. MTM was a reliable model for record covers. Remember when she graced the cover of the Cha 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 LP? Olay! Remember the name. When Mary Tyler Moore tried out for a role on the Danny Thomas Show, she didn't get it. But she made her mark and luckily had a memorable name too. Danny Thomas couldn't forget the woman with 3 names, and he called her just that when he recommended her to Dick Van Dyke for the mother part of his new sitcom. So the lesson is, be adorable, talented, and have a name that matches. Let them wear pants. Jump back in time with me, it's the early 60s. It was a different America back then with some very old school norms still in place, including women expected to wear dresses for school, at work, and even while at home. And so, early visions of Laura Petrie had her as a traditional mom, modeled after June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver, dress and all. But that's where Moore put her foot down. Her pants wearing leg, foot, and all. With the country in the midst of social change, Moore demanded her character be allowed to wear pants, arguing that was a truer picture of an American housewife. She based her vision on real friends of hers, and in the end she got her way. A current glimpse of the American housewife. Green with envy. Few outfits are as memorable as that green dress, you know the one. From season 5's You Try to Be a Nice Guy. It was kind of a huge deal. Those holes showed way more skin than anyone had ever seen on primetime TV. And on the exquisite Mary Tyler Moore, many people probably reacted like Ted.
Get me a glass of water.
The dress was thanks to prostitute Sherry, played by Barbara Colby, who we first met in the episode Will Mary Rogers Go to Jail? She was a hit and they brought her back as a good citizen trying to obey her parole.
My previous experience is not the kind of previous experience you put on a job application.
Her new passion project was fashion design, and so the green monstrosity was born. But this amazing actress actually met a horrible end. Colby had just gotten a new co-starring role in the Phyllis spinoff, and already filmed 3 episodes. Then in July 1975, she and a friend were leaving an acting class in Venice, California, when a van pulled up and shot the pair without warning. Colby died at the scene, and her friend lived long enough to describe the attackers before dying as well. Sadly, this case was never solved. We can only hope that changes someday. Rewrites. The original version of Mary Richards was pretty different. Of course, we remember Mary as the strong, independent woman who read the writing on the wall and made her own choice to change her life's course. But originally, they pictured a 30-year-old divorcee who moved out because her husband left her. That's when CBS network researchers swooped in and shut it down.
It takes a little time to, but she's going to. She's
Gonna be just fine.
They said viewers wouldn't invite divorced women, people of different faith, New Yorkers, or guys with mustaches into their living rooms. Tough crowd. Breaking records. It can't be stated enough. Mary Tyler Moore made history. She's the woman behind a show that broke records and shattered the glass ceiling. Mary Richards gave viewers their first glimpse of a televised, successful, and independent woman.
That you've been asking a lot of very personal questions that don't have a thing to do with my qualifications for this job.
Her show won 29 Emmy Awards. 29. And the leading lady herself won 3 Lead Actress Emmys. 1 Actress of the Year honor, as well as being nominated the other year she didn't win. And Candice Bergen, who took home her share of trophies as well, stated that there would be no Murphy Brown without the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Win some, lose some. If there's one thing Moore's career should teach us, it's keep getting back up on that horse. After she and husband Grant Tinker started MTM Enterprises, Moore wanted to try her hand at some more shows, and they flopped. The show Mary lasted all of 3 episodes. Mary stated afterwards that she asked CBS to pull the program as she was unhappy with the direction of the show. Then the Mary Tyler Moore Hour made it to 11 episodes before its untimely end. But then she took Broadway and the big screen by storm in 1980, netting herself a special Tony Award for Whose Life Is It Anyway? And a sought-after Academy Award nomination with a role that really hit close to home, playing an emotionally distant mother in Robert Redford's Ordinary People.
It's really important to try to hurt me, isn't it?
Don't you have that backwards?
Oh? And how do I hurt you? By embarrassing you in front of a friend?
It is a beautiful yet heartbreaking tale if you've not seen it. And yes, the MTM logo cat has a name. Meet Mimsy the Shelter Kitten, a deliberate reference to MGM's lion mascot. Small company, small logo, small cat. The King and I. The hound dog Elvis himself has had a lot of ladies vying for his heart on the big screen. Of course, there's the famous affair between him and Anne Margaret, and who could forget Linda Thompson? And the final love interest in all of his films, Mary Tyler Moore from Change of Habit.
Late parties, profane music till all hours. Forsaking the habit was one thing, but now you're not even dressed like females.
Where her character, a nun, must choose between Elvis or God. And wow, that's actually a tough one. Moore ended up there when she enjoyed unexpected success with Thoroughly Modern Millie. She felt a bit out of place in an Elvis Presley flick, but they were both actually huge fans of each other's work. Maybe even more on Elvis's side, as he apparently had a crush on Mary, if we go by Moore's autobiography, which I will believe. Very first at the very last. The year is 1977 and the Fonz is speeding up to jump the shark. But go back a few months and what's this? A show ending on a high note and leaving it at that. She and then husband Grant Tinker weighed their options, but wanted to conclude the Mary Tyler Moore Show while it was still loved and hadn't overstayed its welcome. Hence a finale unlike any other in March 1977. And at the end, Moore did some firsts for sitcoms. Her show was one of the earliest to give the characters themselves a chance to say goodbye to each other, and with an in-show reason. And then the program made more history by being the first to have a curtain call. Before the final credits rolled, Moore announced her colleagues so they could all take a final bow. Certainly one of the best trends to start on TV. Health troubles. Moore seemed like an unstoppable powerhouse, and that's what makes her private battles even more remarkable. Behind the scenes, alcohol shaped a lot of her pain at nearly every stage of her life. In the mirror, Moore saw a slightly uneven face that she always wrote off as being the child of an alcoholic mother. She begged her mom to stop and she refused, and her father never showed emotions like love or affection in a way that a daughter craves. So when Moore turned to the stuff too, she was flying high in Hollywood, and she became what she hated in her youth, an absentee mom. But she kept drinking and kept drifting from her son Robert, until one day in 1980, Moore received a phone call saying her son Robert accidentally shot himself and died. The gun model was later taken off the market because of its hair trigger. Finally, she started to pick herself back up. Feeling ashamed, but also inspired, it helped that First Lady Betty Ford started a clinic that took away some stigma of being a young socialite as well as an addict. Back then, the two were not compatible, and Moore had a lot of self-reflection to do. And she did it all in private, so that she could be the woman who could light up a room in public. Calling Mary Tyler Moore revolutionary is not an overstatement. She filled all our living rooms with laughter and made the days easier, while her own were sometimes very dark. So let's toast to Mary. What TV show did you enjoy watching this incredible actress on? Did she deserve to win the Oscar for Ordinary People? That she lost out to Sissy Spacek as Loretta Lynn in Coal Miner's Daughter? Let us know in the comments below, we read them all. If you enjoyed this rundown, remember to give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thanks very much for watching.